So I picked up this edition of Viz a few days ago, and as I was scrolling through, of course you've got Atos, oh lordy, it's the Fat Slags. Can't show that on the Christian server. And did I see anything good in top tips? Fool people into believing you have dandruff by crumbling a prawn cracker into the shoulders of your jumper. Yeah. See, you can do that. Now, here we go. So, in this edition of this, we've got it's Britain's liveliest forum for people who don't know the difference between black holes and glory holes. Cox, not Cox, with Professor Brian Cox. Top telephysicist Brian Cox here. Top telephysicist Brian Cox here. If there's one thing that baffles the public most when it comes to science, it's the distinction between black holes and glory holes. Here are just a few of the questions I've received this month. Dear Professor Cox, if I'm on a spaceship hurtling towards an event horizon, and I stick my cock through a hole in the craft's toilet bowl, will my bell end technically be younger than my balls? And that's from Keith in Halifax. Brian says, this is a tricky one. If you are travelling on a bus and jump up, you will not be propelled towards the back of the vehicle, but if you stick your knob out of the bus window and piss, the stream of urine will reach the back of the bus in seconds. And it's the same with event horizons. Hope this helps. What's the next one? Dear Professor Cox, if I pushed my cock for a glory hole in the black hole, could someone on the other side take a picture of it? Or would the light from the flash be pulled away from my Charlie and towards the centre of the superdense star? And then Brian says, someone could take all the photos they like of your male member pushed through the black hole wall. But as predicted by Einstein's theory of general relativity, the light would be unable to escape from your camera, and all the photos will come back really dark. And then finally, dear Professor Cox, I've heard scare stories about glory holes and event horizons becoming smaller after you've stuck your knob through them due to an energy loss phenomenon called Hawking radiation. Is this true? And if so, would it choke my cock? That's from Tim in Worcester. Brian says, let me put your mind at rest. The answer is no. Hawking radiation occurs because the vacuum is not really empty. See, not ether, it's Hawking radiation. Yeah. And could technically evaporate a glory hole, ripping any chopper poked through it. However, it would take longer than the age of the universe to fully evaporate and become a total vacuum, leaving you plenty of time to get noshed off by a stranger without worrying. So yeah, that's important lessons with and also there's a bit here with making plans for Nigel. Last month, for a few days, depending on what TV channels you watch, the nation was gripped by just one topic. Was Coots Bank right to tell Nigel Farage to piss off? And what was the real reason for refusing him an account? Despite the fact that this story is likely to be fading from memory by the time this mag hits the shelves, we are some leading names from the world of showbiz how they would tell Nigel Farage to fuck off if they're manager of Coots, and the fake reason they would provide for refusing to offer him private banking service. So let's go back. Gary Lineker. The news that Mr. Farage is no longer welcome to... That's how Gary Lineker talks, yeah. With us is very gently. I do not agree with his political viewpoints, but I would not be rude, and I would keep the matter professional. I would sit him down in my office and tell him that it's been a pleasure doing business with him, but we are restructuring our services, and we feel that our bank would not be able to offer the sort of account that an investor like he required. After he left, I would sit down with a couple of former professional bank managers and we would give a cliche reading analysis of my performance and make bland observations about how the meeting went. And there's like, other people as well. And Carol Vorderman was mean, saying like getting security to drag him out. But that's not the only Nigel Farage article in this week. Henry VIII and celebrities of similar or same name as each other corner. I don't remember this one. Do you think Henry VIII ever got drunk and commissioned artist Holbein to do a painting of his cock, and then the Herald take it to Anne Boleyn, Jane Seymour, one of his other bits on the side, like the Tudor equivalent to dick pic? I reckon he did. That's from Tommy Cromwell in Melbourne. King Henry VIII had 3 children, Mary, Elizabeth and Edward, none of whom had children themselves. So when Elizabeth I died, the Tudor dynasty died with her. Why is it then that almost everyone who appears on Who Do You Think You Are is deemed to be descended from the Merry Monarch? Perhaps Lucy Wordley could answer that, probably whilst dressed up as Anne Boleyn. I always wonder what happened to the Tudors. I'm told the other name as well, Plantagenets. Whatever happened to them? You don't see Mr. Plantagenet anymore. Thanks You News and magazine TV programs. Thanks You News. Okay, that makes sense. That is a correct sentence. For ensuring we know the difference between actor Brian Cox and boffin Brian Cox, with the clever ploy of putting the word actor after the actor's name and the prefix professor for the scientist. Apart from one of them having a face like a dry chamois leather, that is pronounced chamois for some reason, but to me it looks like chamois, and the other looking like a choir boy that hasn't had his balls dropped yet, it'd be very easy to get them mixed up, and that's from Glenn R. Carr in Stockport. It's high time the Actors Union Equity organised a cage fight between Tom Holland and Tom Hollander to decide who gets to keep the name and who has to change it. I like one of them and can't stand the other, and I've lost count of the number of times I've gone to see my favourite one in the film, only to storm out when the wrong Tom appears on screen. A bloody dust up in the octagon would hopefully clear this confusion up once and for all, and that's from B. Cox in Featherstone. Oh yeah, and this is an important thing, right? This issue of Viz does not have the picture of the bloke kissing the woman on the arse. For all those years, I thought Viz make-believe town of Fulchester was a British as pie and mash. Oh no, that's about the drunken bakers. Nobody cares about them. This is the article about the picture of the bloke kissing a woman on the arse. So, yeah, it's definitely focused. I noticed after all these years that you are still printing letters containing tenuous and stale requests to publish that picture of that bloke kissing the bird's arse. Surely it's about time the member of staff responsible for the letterbox page should be given a break so that they can come up with something new, fresh and original for your readers. While they're away, I can think of no better replacement for them than the former Leeds United and Scotland frontman Arthur Graham. And that's from Hercule Great Scott Biggin Hill. So, not as good as the picture of the bloke kissing the bird on the arse, but, I suppose it's a bit different. What else have we got? Got anything else that's good? Quentin Tarantino's thing, yeah, okay. Spanks for Nothing, a terrible article about how Farage fuming over Wank Bank closure, as it's a misery because he just can't sum up any images when he's engaged in his gentleman's pursuit. An article about lactose intolerant, where he wants to drink some milk so he can have a really bad fart, and it ends up with he finally does get to have some really bad farts because he's drinking Fall to the Brim, Streaming at the Seams. What has he been drinking? Milk of Magnesia, right. But his mother-in-law? National Whispering Championships here instead, so yeah, he's got to be quiet when doing a poo. Miss Brady Old Lady. I really don't like Miss Brady Old Lady. She's a kleptomaniac, and that's not the reason I dislike her, it's awful. Bananarama and the Secrets of the Knights Templar. Just 900-year-olds. And these are not the bottom inspectors, although they do look a bit like the bottom inspectors. They've come to seize the Holy Grail. Foodie bollocks. There was something in this about balm is in balm cake, and then he goes on about like balm cakes, like it's made with the scum you pull off of the brewer's wort, and wort being WRT, the cereal mash. And so then eventually talks about his mate from the city is the only person that makes authentic balm cakes, and he charges £4 per roll, and just like, yeah. Musk has come up with an ingenious new idea, and it's called Cinema Plus, and the idea being, because to make cinema more immersive, you're going to have the actors on the stage, and rather than the usual like CGI or filming on set, there'll just be painted tapestries and stuff to represent the thing. So it will be a brand new immersive experience having the actual actors there in front of you. It'll be like you're actually there. And he's planning to buy up some buildings for this Cinema Plus scheme in the West End of London. So, yeah. Shock front runner emerges in casting. So, oh yeah, that's a very important article. They've made a scientific algorithm to determine who the next James Bond will be. Cruise Control, Pint Star, Cook's own set brekkies. Yep, he likes making his fry up. I plan to double cinema attendance by having people sitting on one another's laps. 10 things you never knew about cinemas. Now, I'll read you the first article, and then you can buy this in all good shops. Well, all bad shops, really. So, let's get a bit more light. The very first film to play in cinema was titled L'arrivée d'un train en gare de la Ciotat. I don't know La Ciotat, so I don't know how to pronounce that. Made in 1895 and shown at the Crew Odeon. The film was only 50 seconds long and showed a train pulling into a railway station in France. Nobody had ever seen moving pictures before, and the film caused the audience to flee in terror as the train approached, and they were right to do so, because the movie theatre had been built alongside the main Crewe to Stoke railway line, and by a remarkable coincidence, a freight train on its way south, derailed and crashed through the back wall of the cinema at the exact same moment the train on screen arrived at the station, ploughing through the auditorium. So that was an immersive experience. Imagine that, you're watching a train, you've never seen it. It's the likely lads, and they've got mobile phones. Big John Holmes and the Hendersons, where they've accidentally run over the porn star John Holmes, and so they bring him back home. And like, now this is very important. Take stock of the future. Nanobot technology coming to a plate near you. Imagine gravy, which equally coats each item on your plate. Well, that's the promise of nanotechnology. Now, the nanorobots don't exist to make gravy molecules, but there is hope in the future that they'll do this. This was a 3-page spread. It was really quite boring. And there's subscribe to Viz, and you can never miss an article. Robbie's Robot Care. I've not read that one. What else have we got? Sandcastle Gate. A story of scandal and corruption that brought down the Lord Mayor. I'm sure earlier on in this there was a... where did I see it? oh lordy, it's the fat slags. Somewhere in here, there was a full colour advert. I'm sure I saw it somewhere. Maybe it's on the back page? No, it's not on the back page. Well, I'm sure I saw somewhere in here there was a thing about, what do you call it? Oh, Dandelion and Burdock. That's good, that is. Iggy's Pop. Over the next 100 issues, Proto-Punk Rocket Iggy Pop gave us the chart rundown of his top 100 favourite fizzy drinks. This week in at number 100, Iron Bro. Next, Lil Tizzle Non-Mover at number 99. Oh, okay. I really hope they don't continue that for more than one issue. I'm sure I saw somewhere in here there was an advert for... The front page is about the Bacons, and they only get half a page. But John Holmes and the Hendersons is a 3-page special. Fuck's sake. Nash Gordon, that's something different. I'm sure I saw an advert here for Fortean words. Roger's Profanosaurus, the most boring part of it. Anyway, who needs this, right? Because the thing is, not that I can show you the article, because, for fuck's sake, it's got tits in it. But in Oh Lordy, it's the fat slags. One of them says, will the hairy check do? So, you can imagine. I mean, all of this is pretty much just like stuff Ian says. But bum bile. Now, medical. Diarrhea. I'm afraid the Earl of Grantham can't come to the telephone right now, Your Grace. Only he's had bum bile all morning. What else have we got here? Perpetrator. Well, no get prizes for guessing what that is. Noun. One who supplied it and then possibly denied it. Panel beater. L. I don't know what L stands for, but noun. Skilled workman who knocks the dents out of your car doors before spraying them a slightly different colour to the rest of your car. 2. Noun. A membrum virile of large proportions, able to bang the dents out of a lady's pink bonnet. Okay, you know what? There are some good bits in that, but yeah. What else have we got? The Real Ale Twats. Oh, there. I thought this was just like guest ales. It was supposed to be a guest feature, but no, unfortunately, the Real Ale Twats is a regular fixture of this. Mr. Logic. He's incredibly pedantic. He's an acute, localised bodily smart in the rectal area. Yeah, he's a pain in the arse. Okay. Hey, are you old? Do you like pop music? Do you want to buy records? Then we've got the magazine for you. The Mail and Light. You know what? What would be better than this is an article from Major Misunderstanding. Major Misunderstanding is one of my favourite bits in this. Incitement mounts for domino record attempt. How many dominoes is the least? What's the chance? Oh, God. I'm not reading all of that. I mean, look, I appreciate you guys can fill up like 2-page spreads with all this work, but I'm just not reading it. And finally, the last fucking page of it, no Major Misunderstanding, no... Is it Freddie Fart Pants or Johnny Fart Pants? I always think it's because of alliteration, it should be Freddie Fart Pants, but... Morris Day, sexual pervert... No, where's Sid the Sexist? Viz greeting cards. I think our star, the sun, is totally overrated. At least the moon gives off a bit of light and light. The sun only shines in the daytime when it's light anyway. Right, so anyway, Viz, you can get it in all crap shops now. And, main page. Oh, it must be a big one about Biffa Bacon. Half a page. And this twat, 3 pages. But more importantly than that, 2 articles about Nigel Farage and his wank bank closing. and the other one. Professor Brian Cox explains glory holes. Goodbye.